Yeah, Fight Fan, as always, you nailed it. I mean, you're on to something that I talk about a lot on this channel. And I haven't talked about it in an intersection of life. I'll tell you what, when I was growing up in my criminal world, there was a ruthless street gangster named Mosh Dog that I learned about street crime from. You know, he taught me how to deal low level drugs and how to steal and all that kind of stuff. And Mosh Dog was terrifying. I mean, the entire street was scared of him. Now, of course, that's a bubble, but guess what? Every street is a bubble, so to speak. And what you do is you take a guy like that and you remember him for the rest of your life and how absolutely ruthless he was. And then anything you go into, you're not afraid of. Now, that's street stuff. You know, I guarantee you, Roberto Duran, growing up on the streets of Panama, had all kinds of situations like that. You know, he was an absolutely ruthless guy. But you go into the fighter life, you're living like a monk in a monastery, right? You're no drinking, no drugs, no partying, right? Like everything is about fighting, and incrementally you get better. Like things snowball on top of each other. You know, victories give you confidence, whatnot. You get better and better conditioned. So when you try to live a life like Roberto Duran did, meaning he wins things and then he goes back to that street life. He wins and he goes back to the street life. Well, that's a recipe for disaster, right? Eventually, it absolutely will blow up on you. And that's another reason why, you know, when MMA started, it was a bunch of street tough guys that got in the ring and weren't afraid to do anything and didn't really care. What is it now? Now we've got the athletes in, right? I've often called John Jones the missing link of that era, right? John Jones came in, was a national wrestling type of a figure. And he introduced that type of athleticism into MMA. And now, like my friend David Kim and all these guys, they're all like young, really, really good guys. And like none of them are street guys anymore. And that's sort of what happens. And I don't know if we're done with the street legends because, you know, coming from the street and then going into professional sports is a very hard thing to do. I often juxtapose the lives of, you know, Mike Tyson and Burt Cooper, right? Mike Tyson got taken out of that life at 13 and brought to the Catskills and spoiled and taught about boxing only. And Burt Cooper stayed in Philadelphia. And even though maybe he was heralded and Joe Frazier believed in him, that's not enough because street life's all around you and it consumes you and you drink and you smoke and you party and whatnot. It is what it is, man. I mean, that's a demon that chases all of us in this life. And the question is which wolf do we feed? You know, the Native Americans have that spiritual theory, right? It depends what wolf we feed. Are we going to feed that animal inside us, the Mosh Dog, or are we going to feed the monk who's disciplined and does the things he should do? And that's the story of the fight game. But that's why we love it. It's so visceral. It's so atavistic. And it's so human. Everybody, read my book, Warrior of the